You walk into the kitchen, stand in front of the counter, and suddenly the reason you went there simply vanishes. You stare at the cabinets, hoping the sight of a glass or a plate will spark that missing connection, but there is only a hollow, frustrating blankness. Or perhaps you are in a meeting in the middle of a busy office in Chicago, or catching up with old friends at a dinner in San Francisco, and a name you have known for 20 years is suddenly trapped behind a wall in your mind. You can feel it. You can almost see the person's face, but the word refuses to surface. You smile, you nod, and you desperately hope no one notices the silent panic rising in your chest. In the fast-paced life we lead across the United States, we often brush these moments off. We joke about senior moments or blame it on a late night or a stressful week, but deep down, there is a quiet, nagging anxiety. You find yourself misplacing your car keys more often than you used to, or perhaps you're looking at your calendar and realizing you've completely missed an appointment that was written in plain sight. It feels as though the sharpness of your mind, the mental edge that used to be effortless, is slowly being replaced by a persistent, heavy fog. By the time the afternoon rolls around, whether you are in the humid heat of Florida or the brisk air of New England, that mental fatigue sets in. You sit down to read a book or catch up on the news, and within 15 minutes, you find yourself reading the same paragraph over and over again. Your eyes are moving, but the information isn't sticking. It is as if your brain is a sponge that has become saturated, unable to absorb anything new. This isn't just about being tired. It is about a loss of mental independence. It's the fear that these small gaps in memory are the beginning of a much larger, steeper slide. You wonder when this quietly became your new normal, and if the vivid, quick-thinking person you used to be is slowly fading away. What most people don't realize is that this isn't just an inevitable part of getting older. It is the result of a specific process happening inside your neural tissue right now. While you are awake and navigating your day, your brain is under constant assault. But here is the truth that modern neurology is finally beginning to shout from the rooftops. The real damage, the kind that accumulates quietly and compounds year after year, is happening while you sleep. The window your body set aside for deep cognitive repair is, for most American adults over 60, being left severely incomplete. Inside your skull sits the most complex structure in the known universe, but it is also incredibly fragile. During the day, your neurons are firing billions of signals, consuming massive amounts of energy and, as a byproduct, creating metabolic waste. Think of it like a busy restaurant kitchen. By the end of the night, there is grease on the floor and trash in the bins. In a healthy brain, your glymphatic system, the brain's unique waste clearance pathway, flushes these toxins out while you are in deep sleep. But as we age, two destructive forces begin to clog the pipes. The first is neuroinflammation. This is like a low-grade fire smoldering in your brain tissue, fueled by decades of oxidative stress. The second, and perhaps more dangerous, is a process called glycation. This is where excess sugars in your bloodstream bind to the delicate proteins in your neurons, forming advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds literally caramelize your brain tissue, making it stiff, less conductive, and prone to misfiring. It is this glycation that progressively clouds your memory and slows your processing speed. The statistics are sobering. Reports from leading health institutes across the U.S. have warned that cognitive decline is increasing faster now than at any point in recorded history. It isn't just a trend, it's a crisis of brain health. When you sleep, instead of clearing out these AGEs and repairing the damage from the day, your brain is often trapped in a cycle of deterioration. The trash isn't being taken out. Instead, it's piling up, suffocating your hippocampus, the very center of your memory. This is why you wake up feeling cloudy instead of refreshed. This is why you can't remember what you had for breakfast, but can remember a song from 40 years ago. Your brain's repair window is closing prematurely. However, newer research into targeted nutrition has uncovered something genuinely exciting, a way to support this overnight repair process using a specific, natural tool that is likely sitting in your pantry right now. So, what do most people do when they start feeling that mental slip? They reach for the most obvious fixes. Maybe you've started drinking an extra cup of coffee in the afternoon just to push through that heavy brain fog. Or perhaps you've walked down the supplement aisle at a store in Chicago or a local pharmacy in Dallas, looking for anything that promises focus or mental energy. You see bottles of ginkgo biloba, ginseng, or those brain health multivitamins that have been advertised on television for decades. And to be fair, some of these have their place. Caffeine can certainly make you feel more alert for an hour or two. Ginkgo biloba has been studied for its effects on blood flow. But here is the honest limitation that most people aren't told. Every single one of those solutions addresses how you feel while you are awake. None of them address what your brain is doing or failing to do while you sleep. Think of it this way. Drinking caffeine to fix a failing memory is like putting a fresh coat of paint on a house that has a crumbling foundation. It might look better for a moment, but the underlying structure is still deteriorating. Caffeine blocks the receptors in your brain that tell you you're tired, but it does absolutely nothing to clear out the metabolic waste or repair the connections between your neurons. Those generic multivitamins, they are often delivered in isolation, without the necessary healthy fats or enzymatic cofactors that allow them to actually cross the blood-brain barrier. Research published in leading neurological journals has confirmed what we've suspected. The most aggressive cognitive decline begins with silent, microscopic changes, oxidative accumulation, and the hardening of neural proteins through glycation. These changes are most active during the overnight hours, exactly when your brain's natural repair processes should be running at their deepest. The damage is happening in a window that no cup of coffee and no standard alertness pill can reach. To truly protect your memory, you need something that works with your body's biological clock, not against it. You need a targeted solution that provides the raw materials for structural repair while you are in deep sleep, ensuring that when you wake up, your mind is actually renewed, not just temporarily jolted awake. My name is a doctor who has spent years working with adults across the United States, from the busy streets of New York City to the quiet communities in Florida, who are serious about protecting their mental independence. I've seen firsthand the difference between those who accept memory loss as an unavoidable part of aging and those who take evidence-informed, natural steps to safeguard their cognitive future. Today, I am going to reveal the number one nut, one you likely already have in your kitchen, that research suggests can support your brain's natural overnight repair process. We are going to look at how it counters the glycation and oxidative damage that drives memory loss. And I'll show you exactly how to prepare it to ensure those nutrients actually reach your brain tissue. But before we go any further, I would love to know who is with us today. Whether you're watching from the suburbs of Ohio, the heat of Arizona, or the Pacific Northwest, drop your city in the comments below. We are building a genuine community of people who refuse to let their best years be clouded by forgetfulness, and I make it a point to read through your stories personally. If you find this information valuable, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel and join our health-conscious community. By doing so, you help us reach more people who might be struggling in silence with their memory. Your mental health is irreplaceable, and it deserves a strategy that looks at the whole picture. Now, before I name this specific nut, I want to walk you through why even the most popular healthy snacks often fall short for this specific goal. When you decide to take your brain health seriously, you probably do what most people across the United States do. You head to a health food store in Seattle or a local market in Denver and look for brain-friendly snacks. The first thing you'll likely reach for is a bag of almonds. and I completely understand why. For decades, almonds have been hailed in popular health media as the king of nuts. They are packed with vitamin E, which is a fantastic antioxidant for your skin and general cellular health. In fact, if you're looking to maintain a youthful glow or support your immune system while living in the dry heat of Arizona, almonds are a great choice. But here is the specific limitation that most health experts never mention, especially when it comes to the overnight memory repair we've been discussing. The vitamin E in almonds is a generalized antioxidant. It's a supporting player, but it isn't specifically optimized for the brain. Research has shown that the specific lipids required to penetrate the blood-brain barrier and facilitate the repair of your synaptic connections are not found in high enough concentrations in almonds to make a measurable difference in memory recall. They are beneficial for your body, but they are not the answer to the specific overnight trash clearance problem your brain is facing. They simply don't have the biological keys to unlock the repair cycle of the hippocampus. The second nut people always suggest is the cashew. They are creamy, delicious, and rich in minerals like magnesium and zinc, which are essential for nerve function. You might find yourself snacking on them during a road trip across the Midwest, or keeping a jar on your desk in a high-stress office in Manhattan. However, cashews carry a critical nuance that is often overlooked in older adults. As we pass the age of 60, our body's enzymatic efficiency, the ability to convert raw nutrients into their active, brain-ready forms, begins to decline significantly. Much like how the body struggles to convert beta-carotene in carrots as we age, research suggests that the specific fatty acid profile of cashews is often processed by the liver for energy rather than being delivered to the neural tissues for structural repair. They provide a quick boost of minerals, but they do not address the glycation, that sticky, protein-binding process that is currently clouding your memory. If you are relying on these common snacks to save your memory, you are essentially using a general tool for a very specialized job. To truly stop the decline, you need a nut that targets the biological mechanisms of memory directly. The nut that addresses every single one of the targets we've discussed, anti-glycation, synaptic regeneration, and hippocampus protection, is one that many people in the U.S. walk past in the grocery aisle every single day without a second look. It is the walnut. Now, you've probably heard that walnuts are good for you, but the research on how they support brain health specifically during the overnight hours is more targeted and more profound than almost anything else available without a prescription. Nature often leaves us a clue. If you crack open a walnut, it looks exactly like a miniature human brain, with 2 hemispheres and complex folds. In the world of clinical nutrition, this is more than just a coincidence. It's a powerhouse of neuroprotective compounds. First and foremost, walnuts are the only nut that contains a significantly high concentration of alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. While other nuts have fats, the ALA in walnuts is unique because it is a direct precursor to DHA, the very structural fat that makes up about 30% of your brain's cerebral cortex. When you eat walnuts before bed, you are providing your brain with the exact building blocks it needs to repair the neural membranes that were damaged by oxidative stress during the day. But here is the most exciting part, the part that mirrors the anti-glycation power of the enzymes we see in rare fruits. Walnuts are exceptionally rich in polyphenols, specifically a group called L-argitannins. Newer research has shown that these specific polyphenols have a documented anti-glycation effect. They act like a molecular shield, interfering with the chemical bonding process where sugar tries to stick to your brain proteins. By disrupting this caramelization of your neurons, walnuts help keep your brain tissue flexible and conductive. A recent study followed a cohort of older adults in the United States who incorporated a specific amount of walnuts into their evening routine over an 8-week period. The results were staggering. Participants showed measurably better scores in word recall and executive function, the ability to plan and organize tasks, compared to the control group. They reported that the fog felt thinner and their mental quickness began to return. This isn't a miracle. It's biology. By delivering therapeutic levels of DHA precursors and anti-glycation polyphenols directly to your system before you enter your primary repair cycle, you are giving your brain the best possible chance to wake up refreshed, sharp, and ready. Now, simply eating a handful of walnuts isn't enough. You have to follow a very specific protocol to ensure these nutrients actually reach your brain. To truly understand why this specific nut is so effective, we have to look at what your brain actually needs during those critical overnight hours. Much like how the eye has specific tissues that require repair, your brain has 4 primary biological targets that determine whether you wake up with a sharp, clear memory or a mind shrouded in fog. Once you understand these targets, the choice to include walnuts in your nightly routine becomes completely obvious. The first target is brain glycation. As we discussed earlier, glycation is the process where excess blood glucose binds to the proteins inside your neural tissue, forming advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds progressively stiffen your neurons and degrade the structural integrity of your brain's communication lines. This process is continuous, cumulative, and it accelerates as our natural defenses thin with age. Conventional medicine often has little to offer against this caramelization of the brain, but the specific polyphenols in walnuts interfere directly with the formation of these AGEs. This is a meaningful distinction from any temporary stimulant. You are addressing the sticky degradation of your brain at its source. The second target is synaptic regeneration. Your neurons are constantly seeking to repair and reconnect, a process that is most active while you sleep. To do this effectively, your synapses need a ready supply of high-quality structural fats, alongside supporting antioxidants that protect the new neural pathways from immediate oxidative damage. The efficiency of this rewiring determines whether your mental sharpness is maintained or gradually eroded over time. The third target is the hippocampus. This is the small, densely packed central zone of your brain, responsible for forming new memories and recognizing familiar faces and places. Much like the macula in the eye, the hippocampus is extraordinarily metabolically active and highly vulnerable to oxidative stress. Research has consistently linked the high concentration of omega-3s and antioxidants found in walnuts to the protection of this specific region, effectively acting as a neuroshield during the night. The fourth target is BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of this as Miracle-Gro for your brain. It is a protein that supports the survival of existing neurons and encourages the growth of new ones. Maintaining high levels of BDNF requires a consistent dietary source of specific precursors that walnuts provide in abundance. Gram for gram, most people do not realize how dramatically this one nut outperforms other common foods on this measure. By addressing anti-glycation, synaptic repair, hippocampal protection, and BDNF support simultaneously, you are delivering a genuinely multi-layered package of brain-specific nutrients in a single food. Now, here is precisely how to use walnuts for maximum memory benefit, because the preparation details matter just as much as the nut itself. First, the quantity: 7 whole walnut halves per evening, not more and certainly not less. This specific amount delivers the therapeutic concentration of alpha-linolenic acid needed to support neural repair without overloading your digestive system late at night. Next, the timing: 60 to 90 minutes before you plan to sleep. This is the metabolic window when the nutrients are absorbed and begin circulating before your body enters the overnight repair cycle. If you eat them too early, the compounds are cleared before the repair window opens. Too late, and active digestion will disrupt the deep sleep stages where memory consolidation occurs. Third, temperature and preparation. Room temperature, always. This is the detail most people miss. The specific enzymes and delicate oils responsible for the anti-glycation benefit lose significant functional activity if they are consumed straight from a cold refrigerator or if they have been roasted at high temperatures. You want these compounds fully active when they enter your system. And finally, the soaking rule. For the best results, soak your walnut halves in room temperature water for about 2 hours before eating, then pat them dry. This neutralizes the phytic acid, a nutrient blocker found in the skin of the nut, which can otherwise prevent your gut from absorbing the very minerals your brain is starving for. By following this 60 to 90-minute window and ensuring your walnuts are at room temperature and properly prepared, you are protecting the biological activity you are relying on for a sharper mind. Now, before we finish, I need you to hear these 5 rules. You could eat the best walnuts every single night and still not get the full memory-boosting benefit if you are making any of these common mistakes. These rules are not optional add-ons. They are the difference between the nutrients reaching your neural tissue and being blocked before they ever leave your digestive system. Rule 1. No dairy within 90 minutes. Just like with the nutrients for your eyes, dairy proteins, specifically casein, can physically bind to the healthy fats and polyphenols in walnuts. This forms a complex in your gut that your body simply cannot absorb. Research has shown that consuming high-protein dairy alongside these antioxidants can reduce their absorption by nearly 30%. Treat your evening walnuts as a completely standalone snack. Rule 2. Room temperature is non-negotiable. We covered the anti-glycation benefits earlier, but it bears repeating. Cold walnuts are delivering a diminished version of their most important mechanism. If you store your nuts in the refrigerator to keep them fresh, make it a habit to take them out at least 30 minutes before eating. You want those delicate oils and enzymes fully active. Rule 3. Avoid refined sugars in the evening. Sugar is the primary fuel for glycation, the process that caramelizes your brain tissue. If you eat a sugary dessert and then try to use walnuts to fix the damage, you are fighting a losing battle. Let the walnuts work in a clean metabolic environment. Rule 4. The activator synergy. Pairing your walnuts with a small square of 85% dark chocolate can significantly boost the benefit. The flavonoids in high-quality cacao improve blood flow to the brain, acting as a delivery vehicle for the walnut's omega-3s. Rule 5. Consistency is the lever. You cannot expect years of brain fog to vanish after one night. The research shows that the most significant changes in memory recall and verbal fluency happen after 21 days of consistent use. Stick to the 60 to 90-minute window every single night. Consistency is what turns a simple snack into a powerful neurological protocol. Think about what a sharp, reliable mind actually means for your daily life. It is about the quiet confidence that comes from walking into a room and knowing exactly why you are there. It's the joy of being in a conversation at a family gathering in Ohio or a dinner party in Atlanta and having the right names and stories flow effortlessly without that agonizing tip-of-the-tongue sensation that leaves you feeling sidelined. When your memory is clear, you aren't just remembering facts, you are reclaiming your mental independence. You feel safe and focused behind the wheel of your car because your processing speed is fast and your reactions are sharp. You feel deeply connected to the people you love because you can remember the small, beautiful details, the anniversaries, the birthdays, the stories they told you just a few days ago. This is about protecting the very essence of who you are and ensuring that your wisdom and your experiences remain accessible to you and your family for years to come. The brain fog, the misplacing of keys, the frustrating midday fatigue, these are not just part of growing older. As we have seen today, they are the accumulated result of specific biological processes like glycation and oxidative stress. But the research is showing us that we can meaningfully support our brain's natural repair cycle with targeted, evidence-informed choices made at the right time and in the right way. By making this one simple change to your evening routine, you are choosing to fight back against cognitive decline. You are giving your hippocampus the shield it needs and your neurons the raw materials they require to rebuild while you sleep. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning feeling genuinely refreshed with a mental clarity that you haven't felt in years, looking at your day not with the anxiety of what you might forget, but with the excitement of what you will accomplish. I want to hear from you now. If you woke up tomorrow morning with a perfectly clear, sharp memory, what is the very first thing you would want to focus on? Is there a project you've put off, a book you've been struggling to finish, or a specific memory of a loved one you want to hold on to more tightly? Leave your answer in the comments below. I read every single one of your stories because our community grows stronger when we share our goals and our progress. If this information was valuable to you today, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more professional, evidence-informed approaches to protecting your health as you age. Share this video with someone in your life who might be struggling with their memory. You might be giving them the exact tool they need to regain their mental edge. Take care of your mind, stay curious, and I will see you in the next video.